Okay, let's talk about something that's happening all around us, often without us even realizing it. Artificial intelligence. It's quietly becoming one of the most powerful decision makers in our world. Seriously, from the bank to the hospital, these algorithms are shaping our lives in huge ways. And that brings up a really important question. Who's making sure these powerful new tools are actually, ethical?
And just for a little context, the ideas we're exploring today come from Chapter 5 of a tutorial all about AI and human synergy, put together by Virtualization Options LLC.
So, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at AI's new job as a major decision maker. Then, we'll get into its big weakness, what we're calling the algorithm's blind spot. After that, we'll talk about why our own moral compass is so crucial, run through a practical checklist for AI ethics, and then wrap up with how you can actually train your own judgment. Sound good? Let's go. All right, first up, the new decision maker. We are living through a massive shift, and it is all thanks to the rise of the algorithm. So let me ask you this. Just take a second and really think about it. Who, or maybe what, is making the most important decisions that affect your life right now? I bet the answer is way more complicated than it used to be. Because more and more, the answer involves an algorithm. And we're not talking about small stuff either. Think about criminal sentencing, where algorithms are now helping to decide someone's entire future. Or how about this? They're influencing literal life or death recommendations for medical treatments. And yeah, they're even deciding who gets a loan and who doesn't. These aren't just simple calculations anymore. These are life-altering judgments, and AI is right in the thick of it. But here's the thing, there's a huge catch. All of this incredible power comes with a really serious problem, a fundamental blind spot that can cause some major damage. And that brings us to the absolute core of the issue. Algorithmic bias. Here's what you need to know. AI learns from the data we feed it. So, if that data is full of our world's historical biases, and let's be honest, it is, the AI doesn't just learn those biases, it can actually amplify them, making them seem like objective mathematical truth. And this isn't just theoretical, right? This causes real-world harm. You could have an AI that keeps perpetuating discrimination in hiring because it learned from biased data. It could lead to predictive policing that unfairly targets certain communities, or deny someone a loan based on patterns that have zero to do with whether they can actually pay it back. On the surface, it all looks so objective, but the results can be incredibly unfair. Okay, so if the algorithm has this massive blind spot, what's the fix? Well, the answer is us. It's our own irreplaceable moral compass. Just look at the difference here. AI is an absolute beast at processing data and optimizing for a goal. It's what it does. But our strengths? They're totally different. We can engage in moral reflection, balance competing values like, say, fairness and efficiency, and act as a safeguard against unintended harm. You can't just program those skills. They are uniquely, fundamentally human. The source material puts this so well, framing it as a collective responsibility. The whole point isn't just to build powerful tech. It's to make sure that tech actually serves our deepest values, right? That it helps people flourish instead of just cementing old injustices. Okay, so we get why human oversight is absolutely critical. But how do we actually do it? Well, that brings us to a practical toolkit, a checklist for AI ethics. The source gives us these 6 key things to think about. I want you to see this as a set of essential questions we have to ask about any AI system. Is it fair? Is it transparent? Does it respect our privacy? Who's accountable when it messes up? Does it let humans stay in control? And what's its bigger impact on society? Let's just zoom in on that first one. It's not good enough for a system to be right on average. We've got to ask the much harder question. Does it ensure fairness for all groups, or is it accidentally making things worse for people who are already at a disadvantage? And then there's this giant one, accountability. You know, when a system gets something wrong, and it will, who's responsible? You can't hold an algorithm accountable. But the people and the organizations that build and use it, they can be, and they absolutely must be. Now, developing this kind of ethical oversight isn't just a job for philosophers or coders. It's a skill that all of us need to start building. Which brings us to our last section, how to train your judgment. So the source suggests this really cool practical exercise. Think of it as an ethical workout. It's a simple 5-step process. First, you pick a real AI dilemma, something like using facial recognition in public. Step 2, try to map out everyone's perspective. 3, figure out the competing values, like security versus privacy. 4, analyze the fallout from different choices. And finally, step 5, come up with your own position and be ready to defend it.
And the goal of an exercise like this is so important. It's not really about finding the one single right answer. It's about building up our ethical muscles, right? It's about cultivating the moral judgment we need to make sure technology serves human dignity, instead of accidentally chipping away at it. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final thought. AI is an amazing tool. It's literally designed to give us answers faster and more accurately than we ever could. But the real challenge, the one that falls to us, is pretty simple. Are we ready to ask the right questions?